Hello there to all my followers, subscribers, and listeners. However you've come to this channel today, I have something very important to share with you. I'm going to show you the one chart that binds them all. If you wanted to ask the question, why are we having a financial crisis now and why are we going to have more financial crises in the future? It's because of this one chart. And to set the context for that, let's talk about what Jerome Powell said recently. He was asked by Senator Cynthia Lummis out of Wyoming, is there any problem with our debt? And Jerome Powell says, no, debt's totally sustainable. And she says, what? And he says, she asks him again, and he goes, well, quote, the problem is that we're on a path where the debt is growing substantially faster than the economy. And that, by definition, in the long run, is unsustainable, end quote. Yeah, of course. Yeah, that path we're on. He makes it sound like, did we get on this path last night? Have we been on it for 10 minutes? What is this path we're talking about? Because this is the unsustainable level of debt that he's talking about. From 1900 on through 2020 is all that red stuff there. And then I had to put the next 3 years right there. This level of debt he calls sustainable. Lol. It's not sustainable. But when he said the debt level is sustainable, what he meant was if we froze it today and we could probably work it all off. That's what he means by sustainable. But that path we're on, that is not sustainable. I mean, come on. So here is the one chart to rule them all, the one chart to bind them. This has just two things on it. Let me get my drawing tool out for you. One, we have gross domestic product, which is GDP here in the dotted line down below. And we have all sectors debt securities here in the solid line above. So this is just debt. What kind of debt? Student debt, corporate debt, municipal debt, household debt, federal debt, you name it, but it's debt. This isn't liabilities. Liabilities include underfunded pensions, unfunded this or that, crumbling infrastructure that we have not yet reinvested in, such as, I don't know, rail lines where cars don't derail and poison the whole surrounding area. Those levels of liabilities are not contained in this chart. This chart is merely two things, GDP on the bottom and debt on the top. What Jerome Powell said was, well, whenever you have a problem where debt is growing substantially faster than the economy, in the long run, that is unsustainable. Because of course it is. What if the top line was your credit card debt and the bottom line was your income, your household income? That's a math problem. Sooner or later, the interest payments alone, let alone the principal repayments, will consume your entire household budget. And then it is mathematical, financial, legal, game over. That's called bankruptcy. All right. So the claims is the debts, and the stuff that those claims are arrayed against is the GDP below, the GDP, goods and services. The claims are the debts. The stuff is the things you want to buy out of your economy. So what's the problem here? What, do you need a math PhD or an econ PhD to figure this out? No, you do not. No fancy degree or math required. All you need to understand is that the slope of this GDP line is going that way, and the slope of the last 40 years of debt accumulation is going like that, but the slope of the last 5 years of debt accumulation goes like that. As long as the rate, the slope of this, if the debt is going up at a faster pace than the income or the GDP, that's the math problem. That is by definition unsustainable. But Jerome Powell danced around it a little. He didn't tell us something, which is this has been on that unsustainable path since 1970. It's a long time. We're not getting off this path anytime soon. The next 10 years of federal budget deficits is really bad. This is the system. This is not sustainable. So this breaks someday. This tells us why they're thinking about central bank digital currencies. It tells us why they're talking about a great reset, because this is a math problem and it breaks someday. And when it breaks, that's going to be exceedingly unpleasant for all involved. But it's the path we're on. And it was Greenspan, Bernanke, Yellen, and then Jay Powell all contributing to this mess that we're in right now. It includes both the Democrats and the Republicans not saying anything about this, hiking the debt ceiling, passing fiscally irresponsible bills. These are the things that are going to bite your future right in the butt. So this is what I wanted to talk to you about, is this one chart. If you understand this one chart, you understand why it's important to become resilient, to become prepared, get to know your neighbors really well, learn how to grow some food, get some skills, keep some of your cash and currency out of this system. This is a broken system. Make sure that you understand the difference between money and currency and real wealth. There's a dividing line there. Currency, money, what we call money, it's not real wealth. So with that, if you understand this, I think you'll get exactly what you need to do. And as I said, get to know your neighbors really well. Develop really good friendships. Your social capital matters. Your health, your living capital, the food, all of that. It's just time to get ready for some disruptions. No fault of anybody here. It's just the world we live in. It's the fault of people who made years and years and decades of bad decisions. All right. Thanks very much for listening. As always, I want to hear your comments down below. Tell me what you think of this. Did I do okay? Did I explain this well enough? And if I did, hey, please hit like, please hit subscribe. That helps this channel. Come by peakprosperity.com, the #1 online resilience community, to find your tribe. All right. Bye, everyone.